Hey, Marku, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me, Christina?
Yeah, it's a good time for a sound check, right? All right,
That's right.
everybody. Welcome to our extended disc mini webinar. It's our 15-minute webinar. And today I'm excited to have Marku introduce a new assessment that we have called My Self-Study Workbook. And I always forget to do this. We are recording this, so in case you miss any of this or you want to share it with your colleagues later on, you'll find it on our YouTube channel as well as our extendeddisc.org website. Because it's a very brief, quick webinar, we won't be taking questions live, but please put them in the Q&A section and we will follow up with you at the end of the webinar. So again, to introduce myself, my name is Christina Bowser, and I am the training director here at Extended Disc. And joining me today is my colleague, Marku Kauppanen, president of Extended Disc. Hi, Marku.
Hey, hello, everybody. Good to have you in our webinar.
We're practicing social distancing, yeah.
We're back in the office today, but in different parts of the building. So it's good to have you here, but still having to look at you through the Zoom camera. So welcome, everybody, to the webinar.
So Marku's been working really hard. He's been using his remote working time very wisely. So tell us about this new and exciting workbook we have.
Well, first of all, I can't take credit for this. I've been involved in the project, but there are lots of people behind the scenes who are really doing all the hard work. But yeah, obviously what's happening in the world, we are not interacting with our clients as much. We're not doing our classroom certification trainings. So it gave us an opportunity to really continue to focus on our product development. And one of the things we kept hearing from our clients is that could there be and this happened before the pandemic started late last year, people were looking for some kind of workbooks for a kind of a self-paced, self-study, self-guided workbooks. And we started working on that idea. But of course, now with so many people working from homes, working remotely, we wanted to really prioritize the development of this assessment. So we rolled up our sleeves and worked very hard with the team to put this together. The idea is to really provide a tool that individuals can really learn about DISC and, more importantly, create their own development plan to improve their personal and professional success. So it is a true workbook. However, it's based on every individual's unique behavioral style. So it's truly customized workbook for everybody.
So for those of us that, are used to using the individual, for example, the individual assessment, how does this differentiate from the standard individual assessment that people are already using?
A very good question. The main difference is that somebody can go through this workbook on their own and they will learn about DISC and they can create their own development plan. But let me be very clear about this, that the intended audience really is our clients' existing participants, meaning that this is for people who have already completed extended DISC questionnaire in the past. They probably either were coaching clients or they attended leadership development training, sales training, customer service training, team development, doesn't matter. But they completed the questionnaire for the extended DISC in the past. What our clients are able to do with our system, and this is true for all of our assessments, once a person completes that question only one time, they are able to log into their Things platform and reorder the results in different format, including My Self-Study Workbook, the report we're talking about today, at no additional cost. So now it's a great time to use this, especially for those remote employees who are motivated and want to continue to develop, or you want to continue to provide them with reinforcement training. If you're a trainer or you're a consultant, you're really struggling to find ways to continue to engage your clients and maintain that relationship, here's a way for you to provide them something of value, actually a lot of value, at no additional cost to you.
Yeah, and what I'm, and you guys out there, I'm learning it as you guys are too. So hopefully I'll be able to ask some questions you guys want to ask. So what I'm hearing is that, unlike the standard individual report, we typically will debrief that with our clients. We'll go over it. But this one, what I'm hearing is it's more of a standalone assessment where, you know, we can provide to our employees, to our clients, where they can, as I see here, it says self-guided, self-paced, work themselves through this particular report. Is that correct?
That is correct. Like for me, I love this because my kids finally understand what our dad does for a living. They were not born when I started in this business, and they've been hearing me talking about extended this all their lives, but they never really truly understood what I did. Now they had a chance to actually get their own results in the workbook. Like my son came to me and said, "Dad, this is pretty amazing. Is this what you've been doing all my life?" "Yes, son, this is what we do here at Extended Desk." So it really can be used as a standalone product for an individual who's motivated to invest some time and really most importantly, really think about what the information means for them at this particular time in their life and how they want to use this information to take notes and write those notes in the workbook and create a plan how to become more successful, however they define their own success, whether it's personal life, professional life, both combined, whatever the direction is, this will provide guidance in how to make better decisions, how I can modify my behavior, how can I deal with stress better, how I make decisions more effectively, how I communicate better with others, how do I work with my team members, my family members. So it's all about modifying behavior, and this workbook is designed to guide through that process.
I think it's just, you know, obviously we all refer to the pandemic quite often now, and it has so much, I can see the value of it as you start talking about it. You know, a lot of us ourselves are going through transition, and, you know, we're needing ways to develop ourselves and really understand ourselves better in these kind of times that we're living. So I'm actually recognizing the value of it as you're talking about it. Let's talk about the actual report itself. Can you give us some highlights of the report, Markku, and kind of how it's built?
Yeah, there's a lot of content in the report, and this is just basically from the table of contents or agenda of the workbook. First things I mention to anybody who looks at the first time, hey, please do not try to absorb all of this or really complete this work at one time. It's not designed to be that way. It's designed to first give you an introduction to the DISC model, the DISC behavioral styles, and the whole process of understanding who we are in terms of our hardwired behavioral style. But then there are different sections, and sort of the ideal or best practice to approach this is focus on maybe one or two sections at a time and leave it there and really pay attention to actually take in very, very good notes, writing down what you want to do differently or self-reflect and think about what does this mean to me, especially at this time. Those notes are really where the greatest value is created. I've been doing this, like I keep saying in these webinars, probably just to remind myself that I'm getting old, almost 25 years. And when I went through this process, because you mentioned that helping us understand ourselves better, I think really understanding who we are is a lifetime journey. I don't think there's always something new we can learn about who we are. And of course, with experience and the circumstances at the time plays an impact. How do we really see ourselves and what do we want to do? And when world changes around us, maybe our plans change, maybe the plans we had got a little bit messed up and we have to readjust. And I'm going through this process by looking at things like my reactions to pressure situations, my decision-making style. And those were two sections that really helped me learn something new about myself, which was very valuable. But at the same time, I was frankly a little surprised because I thought I knew everything. So the point I'm making here is that really creating that self-awareness and understanding who we are is not something, it's not a point that we are arrived to. It's something we'll need to continue to really understand who we are and look at us from a different angle. And this workbook is intended to be part of that process and hopefully I know it will provide value for people who are motivated to really want to improve and think about how they want to make some adjustments and modify behaviors going forward.
Yeah, and what, when Marcus showed me this report, I was like, that is a thick report. I was looking at it, he's like, don't worry, that's not the intention. It's the intention is really to zero in on the relevant sections, that if you were to focus on these particular sections at this point in time, it would give you the most value in terms of your own development. And what I really like about this report, is that it really just simplifies it, so we know with the individual report we have those profiles, and a lot of us have gone through trainings to understand what those profiles mean and how to debrief it. But this standalone report really just kind of simplifies the model. It simplifies how we understand our DISC style. It gives us the rationale about why we focus on these areas. And I really think it, even though it's similar, it's very different as well.
Yeah, and like you mentioned profiles, nobody will find profiles in this particular report. We represent and demonstrate somebody's DISC style using very commonly used pie charts, and people know, we all know how to read pie charts, so it's very easy to understand. Granted, profiles would provide more specific information, and you can dive a little bit deeper with the profiles, but for the purposes of what we're trying to accomplish here, to provide additional value to our employees and clients, continue to engage them while they are working remotely. And if you're a trainer or consult or have a training or consulting firm, you're not able to visit your clients and have that face-to-face contact. And you probably notice that some of your clients are a little bit distracted because of everything that's going on. But this is a way to really add value at no additional cost and continue to make sure that not only are they continue to develop, but they also realize that, hey, I continually have work to do. Achieving becoming more successful is not something that you ultimately arrive at that destination, because it's a continuous journey. So yes, there's a lot of information. You don't have to use it all. Never use it all at one time. You pick and select which are the areas that you want to focus on now, and what are the areas you want to develop right now.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's an opportunity really to be able to connect with your client or your employees as well, to say, hey, we have this additional tool that, even though you might have learned DISC, or that, we're not able to kind of connect face to face right now, that's something that you can work on your own, and we can help you develop further. So I really like that.
Yeah, I talked to a manager of one of our client companies, and she told me that her employees really, really appreciated getting this, because what the manager felt is that she heard things that, hey, you really care about me. You're really providing something that I can use. I don't know if all those employees went through the workbook. I don't know, but they felt that they were given of something value, and that the manager invested a little bit of their time. And only thing you have to do is put check marks next to the names and hit send, and those reports go to all employees. And the feedback for her was positive, that, hey, we are still a team, even that we are not physically together.
So, it sounds like anybody can gain value from this report, but who would be using this report right now? Who are the people using it right now?
Well, just because of what's happening right now, the most significant segment are remote virtual employees, people working from home, and they want to continue to develop and also understand what their natural and behavioral style, what kind of impact that has on them based on what's happening right now. A lot of employees were not accustomed to working from home, at the kitchen table or whatever area they are able to find there, to put their laptop and set up their cell phone. So that has been a significant application, I would say, number one. Second, unfortunately, many employees were laid off and people are furloughed. So we are seeing that people are using this as a kind of a career planning and development tool. What do I want to do next? And this tool will help an individual to work on their own, understanding who they are in terms of their behavioral style, hopefully begin to make some decisions about what is the next step in their professional career. We're seeing a lot of young adults, and by young adults, really seeing high school students or seniors, and then students who are in college. They have been using this self-reflection, but probably more so for career planning as well. What do I want to do when I get out of school? What is the direction I want to take in my life? And then, of course, our training and consulting companies who are working with different clients, they have used this very heavily to continue to provide additional value to their clients and continue to engage and develop them. And I made a note here. One thing that I've really seen already is that it's been used as a pre-work for people who are going to attend some type of this training. This is a great introduction, and especially now when we are not allowed to have classroom training, this is a great introduction and great way to start the Zoom class training, if you will, because it provides that preparation. So that's been a very, very popular application as well.
Well, thank you, Markku, and hopefully you guys got a great introduction to this new exciting tool that we have. Reach out to us at info@extendeddisc.org to learn more about the tool as well as any of our other extended disc tools. We do have a webinar coming up next week. It's called, Why is it a good time to review your reactions to pressure situations? It's probably obvious, but we'll give you some tips on how to use it and where to look for it. That will be Wednesday, May 13th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find that webinar as well as information on all of our other webinars at our extendeddisc.org. Look for the events tab. Is that still correct, Markku? You've been updating the website.
That's still correct. And when you go to our website and you see the top toolbar, there's some green buttons. Also click on what we call capacity assessments. Check those out, some new exciting assessments for salespeople, sales managers, sales teams, and also for elite athletes, NCAA players, semi-professional, professional athletes, and also for people who are competing or trying to achieve the national Olympic team levels. Exciting stuff there, so check it out.
All right, thank you guys all for joining us today. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.